Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
This is State of Michigan versus Willie Barbon, case 24057088801. Today is the date set for a bond redetermination hearing. Appearances, please.
Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, for Reagan, on behalf of Mr. Barbon, who's here for bond redetermination, Judge.
All right. Mr. Reagan has the bond.
Judge, my client's 50. I see he has a prior conviction, 96, looks like narcotic conviction from 1996. Judge, we're asking for a one-time escort to get his belongings. It's a domestic situation. He has 7 kids. It's my understanding he has a 12-year-old daughter that stays there, Judge. He's trying to get to because the complaint she's out of town right now. He's trying to get to his daughter. But again, the bond is $1,500. My client's on SSI, Judge, so he can't afford the $1,500. Again, he's going to go stay with his mother while this matter's pending, and no contact would be the provision, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Coyle.
Your Honor, the people are requesting the court keep the bond the same with a tether house arrest if you grant him a personal and, of course, no contact. This case, all I do see is the old narcotics case, but it's extremely violent. He was armed with a knife. The complainant was injured. She had cuts on her hand from trying to grab the knife away from him. She was taken to Oakwood Hospital. He did tell the officers, I grabbed it, I killed her, and then went to sleep. And he also stated, what do you want us to kill each other? I said, what are we going to do? I said, I don't want you to hit me. That's what she said. She then ran to her niece's house to call the police, and apparently this went on for about 7 hours. What's troubling is the defendant had told the complainant, I'm going to fuck you up before I kill you. He said he was going to bust her in the head with the 40 ounce that he was holding at the time. She tried to talk to him allegedly, and he would then assault her. I'm asking for that bond to at least remain the same because it appears that these Ms. Dick and Mr. Barbon have been together about 7 years. They had resided together. This is a very dangerous situation for the complainant. Asking the court to leave that cash bond in order to keep him away from her.
All right, Mr. Reagan, anything further? You're on mute, sir. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Judge. They've been together 7 years, have 4 grown children. He's not going to have contact if you put him on a tether and he's going to go live with his mother. I can't argue the facts of the case, Judge, because, it's just a bond situation. But I think that his lack of previous assaultive cases, Judge, I think that he can understand no contact. So I'm asking the court to consider that, Judge. And obviously, you get one side of the investigator's report because you get to read what one person says. That's one report. I have another report over here that says something different. And it's a report that's directly from my client. It's his version. It's his report, the same as the report, that the complaint gives, Judge.
Is there anything from the report that you have that would, change the recommendation as to bond?
Well, Judge, my report is a report that I write down, just like an officer writes down statements. My report, I get directly from my client. He tells me what happened, just like a complaint may say what happened. But obviously, I get a little bit more with that report that you have because I guess it's something that is used in an investigation and a prosecution. But it's, my version.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter to me. I hear everything that you have to say.
The judge, and it didn't happen that way. My client wasn't trying to attack anybody with a knife. That's the bottom line. Without getting into the facts, Judge, he says that what's in an investigator's report is not 100% accurate. And he won't have contact with. He's telling you he won't have contact with. If the court says that, and that was our main thing. While this case is pending, whether she shows up at exam, I don't know. That's going to be something different. I can't speak on that at all, Judge.
If I lowered the bond, where would he go?
He's going to go stay with his mother. He's going to go stay at his mother's house.
Where does his mom live? I don't need an address. Just give me a general location.
Mr. Barton, what's the street name?
7 Mile. Evergreen and 7 Mile.
I just have Evergreen. Okay. 7 Mile and Evergreen.
All right, Ms. Coyle, anything further?
All I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. Obviously, there's always two sides to every story. I'm just here. We see that the complainant does have cuts on her hand. She was taken to the hospital. She did go to her niece's house to call the police. And so those are things that indicate there is some veracity. I do not see anything in the report that indicates that Mr. Barbon was injured at all. These are extremely serious situation, which somebody's procuring a weapon, and he's not only assaulting her with his hands, his fists, he's also assaulting her with the weapon. So, Your Honor, I'm asking for that bond to remain. That's all I could say.
All right, Mr. Barbon, I see you holding up your hands. Do you have an injury that you wanted to show us?
Yes, I have an injury here, here. It was me trying to get the knife from her.
Right.
All right, for the record, Mr. Barber was displaying his hands, and he indicated several spots on his hands where he was injured. I've had a chance to review the investigator's report, and I would note that these are allegations. The part that I did find troubling was the officers at the scene indicating that Mr. Barbon made statements to the effect that he thought that the defendant thought that he killed the complaining witness. Now, I'm not saying that this is exactly what happened. It sounded like there were some other circumstances going on, but what it does tell me that this is a very hot situation right now, and that a cash bond is necessary to ensure the safety of the public. When we get a little further in this and maybe get an understanding from Ms. Dick where we're at with this, then hopefully the next judge will reconsider. But bond is going to remain intentionally unaffordable as to that matter. So bond's going to remain the same.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
How you doing, sir?
And yourself, good morning.
Good morning. Can you tell me your name?
Anthony Jarrell Nevills.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nevills. This is State of Michigan versus Anthony Nevills, case 240578901. Today is the date set for a redetermination hearing. Appearances, please.
Lisa Coyle, appearing on behalf of the people.
Right, on behalf of Mr. Nevills, Your Honor, who's here for bond redetermination.
All right, today is the date set for the redetermination. Mr. Reagan asked the bond.
Judge, another situation, another domestic situation. Bond is $25,010, $2,500, GPS house arrest. My client's not working, Judge. He falls below 200% poverty guideline, can't afford that. He's 38, no prior criminal history, to my knowledge, Your Honor. Has 3 kids. Judge, and sometimes when you read these situations, again, and like Ms. Coyle said, I want to beat a dead horse in the mouth, but it's more to it than what you actually read in the investigative report. My client, again, is 38 with no history. He won't have any contact with the complaining witnesses in this matter, Your Honor. I'm asking the court to grant bond at $25,000 personal with the GPS house arrest. He's not employed, so there's no need for him to be out and about while this matter is pending. And I'm sure the matter will be resolved. His side will come out as the process proceeds. So I'm asking the court respectfully to consider that bond.
All right, thank you. Ms. Coyle.
Yes, the people are contending that this is an extremely dangerous situation. That bond should remain in place with the tether. I see that the complainant and the defendant have been married 3 years. Not only was the complainant, Ms. Nevills, assaulted on the porch and strangled to the point where she couldn't breathe, then her 13-year-old child got out of the car and threw a shoe at the back of the defendant's head. Then he then pushes the child off the porch. The other child, the daughter of Ms. Nevills, sees this and yells, "Get off my mama." And then the defendant pushes her off the porch. The complainant then runs to aid the two children. He pushes her to the ground. She hits her head on the cement. She had a dislocated shoulder and went to Detroit Receiving Hospital. So we've got him assaulting and strangling her. The two children also witnessed the assault on mom. Then he assaults both children, aged 13 and 10. The mother has injuries. And also, my understanding, he was very drunk when this occurred, when he assaulted his whole family, per the complaint. So I'm asking for that bond to remain the same. And if there's not a condition of no drinking, I'm asking for that to also be imposed as a condition of bond. Thank you.
All right, I've had a chance to review the investigator's report as well as hear arguments from both sides. I am going to reduce the bond in this matter to $25,000 personal with a GPS tether. There is going to be no curfew on this matter, but I am going to monitor because you're to have no contact, Mr. Nevills, which I see is your listed address. While this matter is pending, you are not to be at that address. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm also going to order no drugs or alcohol while this matter is pending. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the next date is going to be May the 14th before Judge King. May the 14th before Judge King. Sir, if you're not staying at the Roan's address, where are you going to be staying at? Or I should say, you say your father's?
Yes.
Where's your father live? You know, I don't need an exact address, but just give me a general location.
Pontiac, but I don't know his address. I don't have no phone number so you can call him. So he lives in Pontiac.
Pontiac, okay. All right. Anything further from either party?
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That concludes the hearing.